Welcome to the Erica and McAfee podcast, a faith-based podcast for Black women and women of color to share stories of grief and loss due to miscarriage, infant loss, stillbirth, with journeys of trying to conceive and infertility. Welcome to episode 27 of the Erica and McAfee podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Honey Pot Company. Did you know that there was a Black-owned, plant-based feminine care company? The Honey Pot Company's goal is to educate, support, and provide women around the world with the tools and resources that promote feminine health and wellness. To learn more about the Honey Pot Company and to get a discount on products, visit ericaandmcafee.com/honey for more information. Do we need to have grief resolutions or grief goals for this year? In today's episode, we have Pachuska Vil-Audain, who shares her infertility journey and her experience starting a grief coaching business called Top Counseling. We discuss having and setting grief goals and resolutions, how we can make this new year one filled with personal growth and inner peace from grief due to pregnancy loss, and how we can commit to our grief journey this year. Pat is a passionate and engaging coach and motivating speaker who works enthusiastically with individuals, couples, families, groups, and companies to guide them from turning their dreams into realistic, attainable, and tangible goals. She has been working in the field of industrial psychology and social service since 2001, and she is thrilled to have turned her passion into a business that helps people accept themselves while living happier and healthier lives. Pat focuses on motivating and giving her clients the tools and techniques to identify their fears and transform their limited beliefs that keep them stuck from pursuing their goals. Top Counseling Services offers quality coaching services to get our clients motivated and inspired to live out their true purpose, create a more confident and empowered person who can deal with life changes. Here is Pat. Thank you, Pat, for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, tell our listeners about yourself and what you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pachuska Vil-Audain, but I'm better known as Pat. A lot of people like to call me Coach Pat. I am a life coach, and I like to focus on grief counseling. I focus on professional and personal journeys, helping people transition and finding and reaching and obtaining their dreams and making it into goals, and just helping them find their beauty in life.
Awesome. So tell us about your infertility journey.
Oh, well, basically, since I was young, I had major issues with my menstrual cycle, and doctors would always tell me that I would not be able to naturally have children due to the fact of having irregular menstrual cycles. I could go months. I even went 1 year without having my menstrual cycle. So that was, so much of a struggle for me as a female, as a woman, knowing that my role is supposed to be to conceive, and the struggles and trying to figure out the best way to naturally have a baby. So that was definitely a journey and a struggle, and I felt like was holding me back from reaching my goal of conceiving a child.
So what did you end up doing?
Well, due to the fact I suffer with migraine headaches, so they had put me on birth control pills, which that alters your chemistry and your balance. So due to the fact that I was having a lot of migraine headaches, and it was very severe, would give me symptoms of a person that was pregnant, I had to get off the birth control pills, which was to help me manage basically my cycle. So that wasn't an option. I seen a few nutrition to try to help me, and I was changing my eating habits. They had me doing so much up and down, running around, and I just felt lost and confused. And that's when, I just went by faith, prayed to God, and like, listen, just help me to figure out a way to make this happen naturally without, having to do vitro, having to do all these other things that they were suggesting, because it does take a financial toll in your life, and it does emotionally and drain you and stress you out. So I just decided to say, you know what, let me let go of all this and walk by faith, change my eating habits. I decided to try out the nutritional product Herbalife, which was very helpful for me. I decided to just focus on eating more natural and healthy. I decided to join a running group, and I decided to work out a lot more. And once I started to change that, my eating habits, change my focus to stop being so stressed and just focusing on, making this happen and just live my life, it totally changed my outlook, and it totally changed my body chemistry. I started having my menstrual cycle monthly, and just being cool and calm, finding my inner peace. I changed my routine. In the morning, I would go work out. I would definitely take time to journal, find my peace, focus on, inspirational words every day, empower myself. And that totally changed everything, which, helped. And it was beneficial for me because I wanted to conceive my son without veto, without anything that doctors were suggesting. And I was in a maze, and I was so thankful that God showed up.
Awesome. So that's a good transition into the new year. Our New Year's goals, taboo. Everybody wants to go and work out and get fit or change their eating habits. And in your case, you were doing it. You changed your complete lifestyle. You started praying more, journaling, trying to find your peace as well as all of the other lifestyle things. So just in your opinion, are yearly goals taboo if they don't have action behind them?
Oh, I totally agree. Definitely as being a life coach, I totally agree because that's our main focus, working with our clients. In order to turn your dreams into goals, you definitely have to put action behind it. Because just thinking about it, it just remains a dream until you actually write it down, I feel, and you actually work on it. To work on it, you have to have a plan. So I'm a firm believer about setting goals, having a plan of action, and that's why I usually with my clients, and I do vision board parties to, it's fun to get together and talk about your goals, but why not do it? And I love to take pictures. I love, taking pictures of nature, anything. So I usually do yearly vision board to focus your goal, your dreams into actual goals, put it down in pictures and words, anything inspirational, and hang it up as a constant reminder for yourself and to work on it. But I don't think they're taboo. I think it's something that we all need to focus on because every business, they all have business plans. They have, goals. They have, projections. What are they going to do? So I'm a firm believer you should have goals and you should have projections. You should have short-term goals, long-term goals, seasonal goals. Actually, right now, I'm going to be turning 40 come June, and I'm focusing on, what are these 40 adventures I want to conquer and I want to explore so I can go into 40 excited about these 40 new adventures that I'm going to embark on.
As you know, this podcast, we focus on grief and loss journey. Should we have grief resolutions? Is that uncommon or unheard of? Especially if we experienced a loss in 2017, going into 2018, should we focus on being able to heal ourselves?
Definitely. I'm a firm believer that in order to, just like Michael Jordan says, in order to fix something, you have to basically set goals for it to reach for them. So unfortunately, sometimes things happen along our journey, and we want to blame ourselves, but sometimes it's just the body. It's, I had to learn that it's not necessarily our fault, but our body sometimes doesn't work the way we think it's supposed to work. And everybody is built differently, but definitely to have goals, because if you don't learn to have grief resolution, then you could have postpartum depression. It could lead into chronic depression. It could lead into something bigger and make it worse. So I definitely like to work with my clients on, okay, so, I understand you experience this. It's not something that's going to go away. It's something you're going to always, have to deal with. It's always something, but you have to have a healing process. You have to go through the journey of crying it out, being angry, being frustrated, so you could come to the place where you could, learn to accept it and learn to grow from it and learn to, be able to talk about it, share your story with somebody else so somebody else could get healing from you. But if you're not able to get healing from yourself, how can you help anybody else to heal? And also, it affects your relationships moving forward with your significant other. It causes a lot of marital issues or relational issues. And also, if you don't learn to deal with it, you're going to have resentment for others will have children. You know, you may not necessarily act on it, but in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't change your mindset, it's going to block your blessing. So that's why I had told you I had to go through my own journey of, channeling, writing it down, dealing with my anger and frustration in certain areas of my life in order for me to come to a breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely agree with having some resolutions on, okay, this year I lost my child. Moving forward, what are your goals? Do you want to have children again? And for you to learn to accept the fact, just because you're having another child doesn't mean the fact that you forgot about the other child.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that to feel guilty. It means that you have to move on. You're still going to love and you're still going to have, a connection with that other child. And that's why I work with clients on finding ways to, remember the child without feeling guilty, without, holding anybody else accountable for what transpired, not transpired. And communicating, sharing with other people, and finding different ways to, just go through the journey without being stuck.
What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have.
That was Auntie Oprah Winfrey giving an inspirational speech after receiving the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the Golden Globes on January the 7th. We need to speak our truth. This segment is brought to you by EricaandMcAfee.com. For those of you who are ready to speak your truth, I'm looking for women who have experienced endometriosis to share their stories, as well as those moms to kids with special needs or disability. Go to EricaandMcAfee.com/podcast guest to be featured on a future episode. My hope is that everyone who goes into the new year, especially if they lost a child in 2017, or just the many people out there who have lost children and really haven't dealt with their grief, that they go into the new year at least just not feeling stuck in a place in their grief, that they are open and willing to go through some type of counseling, coaching program so that they can continue to heal their hearts. And how can we make this new year one filled with personal growth and inner peace from, grief due to our pregnancy losses? People could have lost loved ones last year as well. How do we make it a new year filled with growth and inner peace?
For me, I feel like definitely to find inner growth and peace is firstly to accept it and to deal with it. A lot of times people want to ignore it, pretend it didn't happen, just don't want to talk about it. Once you learn to get help, it's like you mentioned, getting coaching, getting a counselor, or going to your minister, whoever, finding a good support system. Mm-hmm. Finding a good community that's going to uplift you and that's going to support you and that's going to go through the journey with you, to understand what happened and sometimes not understand what happened, but just to embrace the process. And just like I just recently lost my grandmother, going through that journey of, remembering her for the good and not focusing on the bad. Mm-hmm. Remembering that's what life is about. Life is about, us being born and in between and death. Right. So coming to terms with that. I know it's hard, especially as, myself being a mom, you don't expect to bury your child. You expect your child to bury you. So that is, and acknowledging that is rough. It's a real serious situation. Mm-hmm. It's not something that, anyone should take lightly. It's something that we should all just remember, but finding ways to remember the person. That you could find healing with that situation. And there's different ways to honor your children. There's so much, different beautiful ideas out there, making a tattoo, doing a walk. If your child died of maybe a cancer issue, finding a purpose by doing service, remembering the child during the month of October. There's so much different beautiful things to embark on. And, I love doing March of Dime. I love doing runs. So finding ways to find your physical health, focusing on your physical health, because if you want to embark on the journey of having children again, you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Because remember, it's a chemistry imbalance. Even though you may have lost a child, but your body may not recognize that. So you will still have, maybe you're still producing milk. Your body might still be going through the stages of the 9 months pregnancy. So making sure you follow up with doctor appointments, attending doctor appointments. If you feel that you're having a chemistry imbalance and you're feeling you're not connecting, you're isolated, you definitely want to make sure you may not be going through postpartum depression. You want to get help for that. If you might need medication to get you balanced again. So these are the things you want to check in on. You want to make sure you're not, shutting your significant other out. You make sure you two are talking about the situation or finding ways to, deal with it. Just because he may be seeming jolly and happy doesn't mean he's not grieving. We all grieve differently, so we must accept those things. So it's just so much different things that I work with, and I talk to my clients to guide them through, talk to the couples to make sure they align with their goals, and, just talking about the future, not getting stuck in the present, because today is here, but there's going to be another day. Right. So you want to make sure you live each and every day, not being stuck. So for the new year, making that commitment to yourself, like, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to get help for it. And I want to make sure I'm fruitful in the blessings of God giving me another day to live, to breathe. So let me honor my child by doing that.
So how do we commit to our grief journey this year? What are some steps that we can take to ensure that we are on the journey of healing?
Well, definitely, like I mentioned, is writing it down. Doing maybe a vision board, getting together with a community, like a support group, and finding interesting ways to connect and doing things that will bring you joy and happiness again. Getting a counselor or a coach and working on whatever issues you may have with your significant other. So it's just finding ways to find peace and happiness with yourself again, with what you just transpired. So I definitely say setting some goals, writing them down, and living up to them. Definitely putting down maybe 10 goals and saying that I definitely by a certain time frame accomplishing them. Because each little progress you make just brings a sense of joy. Making sure you don't lose yourself in your grief, and making sure if you're a person that loves to wear lipstick and love to get dressed up, finding time to do that, connecting with family and friends, finding a new way to remember the child during the holidays, especially if you lost anyone during the holidays, becomes hard. And just being connected with yourself, connected with your feelings. If you want to cry, cry. Mm-hmm. Don't suffocate yourself with, no, it's time for me to get over it. There's no such thing as getting over it. Because once you love, you don't get rid of the love. Mm-hmm. Just because the person went away doesn't mean the person is dead in your memory. The person's not dead to you. They may be physically no longer here, but mentally, emotionally, you're still connected to them. Right. So whatever it is for you to connect with that person, do it. Do a memory book, or, do a memory box, or, anything that brings you joy and sense of connection with that person, so you're able to move into a healthy space. I say do it. And I challenge it with my clients, because everyone's culture is different and they have different ways of remembering a lost one. I know if you notice, if you ever go to Chinese people's store, sometimes you see they have a little, incense and some candles lighting up. Everybody does something different. People do remembrance at the church. They, have the announcement of the person. However way it brings you peace, that's what you need to do. Where can we find you on social, and what's your website? Well, I'm currently working on my website, but definitely you can find me on social media, Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram, it's Top Counseling. That's the name of the business, Top Counseling. And like I mentioned, we work with clients on, finding, transitioning, and making changes in their life, turning their dreams into actual goals, how do they feel stuck, dealing with their grief. And I definitely want people to understand grief is not only dealing with death. Mm-hmm. I want people to understand grief is dealing with any changes that you find, hardship with. And I like to explain that to people, because a lot of times people think grief is only dealing with death or divorce, dealing with a lost one. But no, grief is dealing with any trauma or anything, any transition, losing a job, as far as you was in a relationship, you no longer have this relationship. It could be a relationship with a family member or a boyfriend, girlfriend, anything of that nature. But a lot of times people don't realize grief is not only dealing with death. Grief is sometimes just dealing with everyday transition that we have or hardship of connecting with or dealing with, and it becomes a blockage in our growth, in our journey of life. And we definitely, come in and help the person transition, help the person find what's holding them back to reaching out and living to their true purpose in life.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pat, for being on the podcast and sharing your story, as well as just helping me bring in this new year on top, as far as our grief journeys and what we can do to make sure that we are working on healing this year.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it, and I hope your listeners got something phenomenal out of our time together. And definitely, you can find me on Top Counseling. And if you're looking for anyone to, help you out or to help you transition, set up some goals, you can definitely reach out to me. Like I mentioned, I do vision board parties and, have fun and connect with people and helping them to find, to make that transition and find their dreams and live it out loud. Be bold and be beautiful and accept yourself and take the courageous journey to make change and not be hold back by your fears.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Erica M. McAfee podcast. I pray that this episode was inspirational and a blessing to you. For show notes of today's episode, visit ericamcafee.com/podcast episodes. We now have a Facebook group. Please join the Sisters in Loss community on Facebook by going to ericamcafee.com/community to join in the discussions. This community is for you, the listeners of the Erica and McAfee podcast, and it's for us to dive deeper in discussion of the episodes. We're going to chat with some of the episode guests and discuss questions around grief, loss, marriage, faith, and love. If this group is for you, please visit ericamcafee.com/community to join. I am also launching my Trying Again Grief Coaching Service. This is for those who are trying to conceive after a loss and are looking for that emotional and spiritual support going through that journey. I have 3 open slots available for coaching. So if this is of interest to you, please visit ericamcafee.com/coaching and sign up for a discovery call with me. I look forward to helping you all through your grief journey and your pregnancy after loss journey. Please do not forget to subscribe, rate, and review the Erica M. McAfee podcast, especially if you're listening in iTunes. Keep the faith, and I will talk to you next Wednesday.